Most of you who are young like me, we were born in this system. But this is not what can allow Burkina to live. Because in this situation, there are only two cases. Either we accept to fight, or we remain slaves forever, I tell you once. And there are some who are slaves in the head. They can only serve their master. And these people, each time they try to manipulate you, you must advise each other.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel once again. So guys, the president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, he is now calling out all puppet leaders both in Caribbean and in Africa. Now he is calling back our black Americans to come and give back the ideas that they have borrowed from the other side of the world to build Africa and Caribbean. Now he wants Africa to unite with the Caribbean and all black people back in their own continent. He is calling out all puppet leaders to resign and leave power to the people who will work for their citizen. So kindly guys, I want you to watch this powerful speech from Ibrahim Traore, then I'll be back with more comment.
Because each situation can be exploited by these enemies of the nation to try to discourage you, to demotivate you. So you must advise each other and do not pay attention to certain words, even on certain media. Everyone is not obliged to be a patriot. You are the first patriots. You have decided to defend the country. There is nothing better than that. Those who want to support you, let them support you. Those who want to discourage you through writing, you must close your ears and move forward.
Alors, il faut qu'on se rappelle quelque chose.
We must remember something. Recently, there was a so-called NGO. It is not even a NGO because a NGO is a non-governmental organization. But they are not non-governmental because they are financed by a federal budget, by a state. This so-called NGO produces reports to say that the FDS and the VDP are carrying out executions. They came in and left here. It is to stain your morale. It is to scare you, to prevent you from being able to fight. No. Besides, we will take this NGO into account because people must understand something.
Il faut que les gens comprennent quelque chose. Ce qui nous arrive ici.
What is happening to us here? It is true that they have manipulated a part of our population in the Sahel. But they did not have this armament. What led to this important armament? It is Libya. Who destroyed Libya? It is this NGO, the same NGO that made these false reports and gave to whoever wanted to create a rebellion for people to intervene and make Gaddafi fall. And the powder is spilled in the Sahel. These millions of lives that were taken in the Sahel, we must take into account this NGO because it is responsible for these false reports that it made to consolidate this thesis of attacking Libya. They have no moral lessons to give us. Look at the world. Let them defend human rights everywhere in the world before coming here. We have the chance to have similar situations in this world. You are engaged voluntarily. There are countries where we take force, we kill. You leave or you die. Others, even if they want to flee, end up dying. They do not speak of human rights because these people see us as subhumans. They see us as slaves. It's like that in their heads. They have never changed their logic. But it is up to us to show them that we are not slaves and we will never accept this state of affairs. So there is no need to let yourself be overwhelmed by the story they tell, whoever wants to hear it. You have to stay focused on your fight. Stay focused. We know what we are doing. And even now, the commander of BVDP told me that there is a training session on human rights for the benefit of group leaders and their subordinates, which is ongoing. If we make an effort, we know that it is for us. We do not do anything to please anyone. We do it for our country. And you are committed to that. Defend your country. Do not listen to these individuals. They should not affect your morale. In the history of the world, there have been wars. And during the Second World War, people organized themselves to defend themselves, a little bit everywhere. But there was a country that could not defend itself, that had to come and take our ancestors to go and defend them.
Et aujourd'hui, ce même pays veut nous donner des leçons.
And today, this same country wants to teach us the hospital that laughs at charity.
No. Vous êtes les descendants
No,
de ces mêmes ancêtres.
you are the descendants of these same ancestors who went to defend the others, who freed the world from
Aujourd'hui,
Nazism.
vous vous battez pour vos terres. Ces mêmes
Today, you fight for your
individus
lands. These same individuals dare to create terms to dirty you.
Nous opposons à cela. Nous ne serons
We
jamais
oppose
d'accord.
this. We will never agree.
Continuez à défendre vos terres. Ce sont vos richesses qui intéressent ces gens.
Continue to defend your lands. It is your wealth that interests these people. It is our
Sinon,
gold,
pourquoi
our
privilégier
minerals that interest
les
them.
gentils pour s'accaparer de nos terres? Donc, nous allons combattre et nous allons
If
récupérer nos
not,
terres, nos
why come
richesses,
and
ça
look
nous
for
appartient,
entire
c'est pour nous,
villages
c'est
to
à nous
take
que
our
ça va
lands?
coûter. Et à
So
nos
we will
enfants.
fight and we will recover our lands. Our
Je
wealth
vous
belongs to
encourage
us.
donc à garder
It is
en
to
mémoire
us that it will
que cette
benefit
guerre,
and to
c'est
our
pour nous
children.
sortir de l'esclavage.
So I encourage you to keep in mind that this war is to get us out of slavery. It is for our independence. And you must keep your morale high. Stay up. We will never give in to the manipulators, to these individuals who no longer know this notion of homeland, or to these people who come from the outside to try to tame us through their terms that they invented and their organisms that they invented to serve us.
Combattez, avancez.
Fight. Move forward.
Tout ce que vous pouvez.
Do everything you
Puisez,
can.
comme j'ai dit,
Dive, as I said, into your cultural resources, into what you have been forging since the village.
puisez dedans.
Dive into it and wage this war.
Restez concentrés.
Stay focused and stay up.
Vous êtes ces gens-là qui ont osé.
You are those people who dared to take up arms to support the different forces of defense and security,
Pour lutter.
to fight to recover our lands.
Ce n'est pas permis à tout le monde. Chacun à son
This does
niveau
not apply to everyone.
ce qu'il peut.
Everyone at his level can do what he can.
Sont dans le commerce et
Others are in business and contribute.
essaient de communiquer pour vous encourager.
Others try to communicate to encourage you.
Essaient, en tout cas, chacun de sa position.
Others try to do what they can,
Mais vous, vous avez décidé de
but
prendre
you have
les armes.
decided to take up arms and face them.
On aime de dire, en temps de guerre, il y a deux types
We
de
like to say
citoyens.
that in times of war, there are two types of
Les
citizens.
porteurs de tenue,
Those who wear uniforms called FDS, who must go towards death. It is their duty.
et les civils qui doivent fuir.
And the civilians who must flee death because they are not trained for it.
Mais dans l'histoire des peuples, il arrive
But in the
toujours
history
ces
of peoples,
moments où vous vous retrouvez
there is
confronté.
always a moment when you find yourself confronted with your existence.
Soit vous vous battez ou vous disparaissez.
Either you fight or you
Aujourd'hui, le
disappear.
Burkina fait face à son destin.
Today, Burkina faces
C'est une
its
question
destiny.
d'existence.
It is a question of existence.
Et à ces moments cruciaux,
And at this
parmi ces
crucial
civils
moment,
qui devraient donner d'eau à la
among those civilians
vous
who
avez
must give water to
décidé
death,
de prendre les armes et faire face. et
you have
accompagner
decided
frères
to take up arms and face and support your brothers in arms.
Nous ne pouvons pas finir de vous rendre hommage.
We cannot stop paying tribute to you.
Nous ne pouvons pas finir de vous
We cannot
glorifier.
stop magnifying you. We cannot stop glorifying you. You are from Burkina Faso, and that is all we have
Vous avez
asked.
fait face à l'ennemi sans pour autant
You have
connaître
faced the enemy without knowing the enemy,
à fond, sans pour autant connaître, avoir les mêmes capacités que les forces.
without having the same capabilities as the security forces.
Beaucoup d'entre vous ont payé.
But you have faced it.
Mais vous continuez à
Many of you have paid for their lives, but you continue to
Que pouvons-nous
resist.
faire pour améliorer vos conditions de travail?
What can we do to improve your working conditions? That is combat.
La première des choses, le VDP existe.
First of all,
depuis
the
plusieurs
FDS has existed for several years,
années, n'était pas équipé.
but it was not equipped, especially the notion of individual weapons. I
Je
think
pense
that
que
this
ce
problem
problème
is
est
more or
plus ou
less
moins
solved.
résolu. Tous
All
ceux
those
qui
who
sont
are
VDP
VDP in the villages
aujourd'hui
today
ont
have
ça.
weapons.
De toute façon, ils sont nombreux encore à
Anyway,
vouloir s'inscrire.
there are
Je suis
still
sûr.
many who want to join, I am sure.
Tous les villageois souhaiteraient peut-être être
All the
VDP,
villagers might want to be VDP, but we will go step by step
étape par étape, parce que nous avons demandé aussi aux civils de contribuer, comme je vous disais tout à l'heure,
because we have also asked the civilians to contribute, as I told you earlier,
qui doit permettre de vous prendre en charge.
up to a
Voilà
level
pourquoi
that should
en
allow
janvier,
you to
nous avons
take
décidé de
charge.
passer à un autre niveau en termes de prix.
That is why in January we decided to go to another level in terms of prices,
d'assurer un certain
but also in terms of taking charge
l'équipement va
to
continuer.
injure and ensure a certain minimum.
Et tout ce qui pourra être fait pour vous
The
accompagner,
equipment will
ça va
continue,
continuer.
and everything that can be done to accompany you, it will continue to grow.
Vous êtes identifié, vous êtes connu,
As we
vous êtes
advance
un
in the
bloc.
fight, you are identified, you are known, and you are a block in the different communes. That is why I ordered that we order clothes to start equipping little by little.
L'idéal pour moi n'est pas qu'on achète des tenues de l'extérieur,
But the ideal for me
concevoir de nouveaux
is not to buy clothes from abroad.
et nous souhaitons que ces tenues-là soient confectionnées.
We need to be able to design new types
Voilà
of
pourquoi
clothes
nous
for
sommes
you,
en train de-
and we want these clothes to be made here.
Voilà pourquoi nous sommes en train d'accélérer la mise en
That is why we are accelerating the establishment of the factory that must produce our clothes, because I want there to be a particular model, a special outfit for this army that has the BVDP too. So this is a question that will be resolved. And what is more normal is that you are dressed by ourselves through our cotton that has been transformed here. But I urge you to never lose focus. We must not be surprised. We must not sleep. We never lower our arms.
Regardez aujourd'hui le volume de terroristes.
Today, look at the volume of terrorists who attacked Burkina Faso. Did you imagine that there was such a thing in Burkina
C'était
Faso?
pourtant là, tapis dans l'ombre, ce qu'on appelle des cellules dormantes.
They were there, covered in darkness, what we
Parce que
call
ceux-là
dormant
qui nous ont
cells.
maintenus dans
Because
cette
those who
situation,
kept us in this
le jour qu'ils
situation,
voulaient, il suffisait qu'ils
the
disent
day they
au
wanted,
côté,
it was enough for them to say to the government, we did this. If you refuse, they will activate,
et il faut combattre.
and we must fight.
Ce sont des ennemis de la nation. Ils
These
ont
are
décidé
enemies of the
d'attaquer leur
nation.
patrie.
They decided to attack their country. We must fight them. It is without
L'autre
mercy.
volet, c'est entre vous-mêmes.
The other thing is between yourselves.
Surpasser un certain
You must
nombre
overcome a certain number of events and do not let yourself be manipulated.
Lorsqu'il
When
y a
there
des
are
événements,
events, we must avoid
il faut
making
éviter de faire des
interpretations
interprétations ou bien de se laisser manipuler.
or let ourselves be manipulated. I say this very often because human beings often forget God when they have no problem,
Lorsqu'il est dans le bonheur.
when they are in
Quand il y a les
happiness.
soucis, c'est là qu'on se rappelle de Dieu.
But when worries come,
Rendez grâce tous les jours pour le
This is
souffle
when we
de vie,
remember
pour la
God.
santé.
give thanks every day for the breath of life and for health. Youth from Burkina Faso,
La jeunesse
youth
fait
from
partie de la
Africa,
vie,
youth, this phase of life where we have enough strength,
cette énergie,
enough energy, like the paraphrase, the slammer that has just passed.
la jeunesse.
Youth is the time when we have spent enough time.
Nous devons profiter du temps qui nous est donné
We must take advantage of the time we have been given,
pour atteindre nos objectifs, pour changer
use
le monde,
the energy necessary to
changer
reach our
notre monde,
goals,
changer le monde des autres positivement.
to change the world, to change our world, to change the world of others positively.
Les enfants souhaitent grandir pour être jeunes.
Children.
Personnes âgées
Children want to grow up to be young.
devenir jeunes. Tout le monde veut être jeune.
Older people want to grow up to be young.
Jeunesse,
Everyone wants to be young. Youth is a blessing.
alors profitez de la jeunesse pour faire œuvre utile.
So take advantage of youth to do useful
Voilà
work.
pourquoi quand je vois dans le thème choisi,
This is why when I see in the chosen theme, the first two words that come to mind,
intégration,
integration,
sécurité.
security.
L'Afrique fait face à de nombreux défis
Africa faces many challenges,
et on doit se poser des questions.
and we must ask
La jeunesse
ourselves
est-elle
questions.
un atout ou un handicap pour le développement des nations?
Is youth an asset or a handicap for the development of nations?
Et vous la savez. Les pays
The answer is simple and unequivocal, and you know it. Developed countries mostly have an aging population, and currently many countries have launched programs to rejuvenate their populations.
L'Afrique a cette chance.
Africa has this chance to have a very young population,
Mais pourquoi l'Afrique n'est-elle pas développée?
but why is Africa not developed?
Nous devrions donc nous pencher sur la question de comprendre pourquoi l'Afrique.
We must therefore look at the question of why Africa has a young population and why it is not developed, and why developed countries seek to rejuvenate their populations.
Il faut que nous arrivions donc à transformer notre jeunesse en un véritable atout et un moteur.
We must transform our youth into a real asset and engine of development for our continent.
Pour ce faire, nous avons
To do this, we need integration.
d'intégration. Nous avons besoin de sécurité.
We need security and development. We need to unite.
Certes, vous entendrez parler de
You will hear about the African Union.
Oui, elle existe. Mais quelle
Yes, it exists, but what is the effect of the African Union?
Nous ne pourrons pas parler d'intégration dans le thème.
We cannot talk about integration and not talk about the African Union,
Cette organisation qui devrait nous unir.
because it is this organization that should unite us,
Mais nous sommes au
create
regret
real
de
integration.
voir ces guerres qui persistent sur le continent africain.
But we regret to see this war that persists on the African continent, that kills millions of young people,
Et à la tête d'États pourvus d'armées.
and that this organization, which has the head of state provided with an army, cannot organize itself to support certain countries.
L'union n'est pas juste un mot.
The union is not just a word, the union is a symbol.
Et nous jeunes devrions apprendre le
And we young people should learn from this situation
pour faire de l'intégration une réalité.
to unite us to make integration a reality.
Désagréablement surpris lorsque l'Éthiopie, qui abrite donc.
I was unpleasantly surprised when Ethiopia, which is the seat of the African Union,
Et quand j'ai vu le Premier ministre se mettre en treillis,
experienced a conflict, and when the Prime Minister announced to close the university in Addis Ababa to face the threat,
l'action de l'Union africaine.
I did not see the action of the African Union to protect this seat.
Occidentaux pour la plupart. voyaient Addis
Western
Ababa
states, for the most part, saw Addis Ababa fall, fold their backpacks, and leave.
L'Éthiopie s'est battue, a trouvé une solution
Ethiopia
interne.
fought, found an internal solution, and lives more or less in peace today.
Les enfants du Congo meurent.
The children of Congo have been dying for years.
Plusieurs autres conflits, tels au Soudan.
Several other conflicts, such as in Sudan, exist on the continent.
Nous aurions aimé voir l'Union africaine générer.
We would have liked to see the African Union generate the strength and all the strategies necessary to support its states so that they can find peace.
Nous ne viendrons même pas parler de nous ici au Sahel.
We will not even talk about us here in the Sahel.
Depuis près de 10 ans,
For nearly 10 years, the Sahel has been the scene of international terrorism.
mais nous ne voyons aucun soutien.
But we see no support from these organizations to find a solution to this problem.
Pire, il y a quelques jours de cela, un pays
Worse, a few
étranger
days ago, a foreign country in Africa openly announced that it had supported and participated
soutenu et participé à une attaque lâche
in a cowardly, terrorist, and barbaric attack against the forces of our confederation.
L'Union africaine n'a pipé aucun mot pour condamner.
The African Union did not say a word to condemn this interference.
L'Union africaine n'a
The
pipé
African
aucun mot
Union did
pour
not say a
condamner
word to
cette
condemn this
ingérence
interference
extérieure à la
of a foreign state in Africa in the internal affairs of our states.
de nos États. Et ce coup de gueule, je souhaiterais
I would like them to hear this shout
qu'ils sortent donc de leur silence
and get out of their silence and take action so that the youth can believe in the African Union.
Il nous faut nous unir. Il nous faut nous unir. Et
We
la
must
seule manière de
unite.
s'unir,
The only way to unite is to talk to each other, to understand each other, and to be able to establish the basis of this unity.
unité-là. Et jeunes, laissez-moi vous dire que pour s'unir,
Young people, let me tell you that to unite, there are three words, three big screws that we must ban from our behavior and our lives.
je parle de la lâcheté, la traîtrise.
I am talking about cowardice, treachery, and incompetence.
Il faut bannir
We must ban these three words from our way of life.
de notre mode de vie.
I am going to explain why.
Pourquoi. La lâcheté recouvre beaucoup de vices.
Cowardice covers many
Lâche
screws.
a toujours peur. Et lorsqu'on a peur,
A coward is always afraid. And when we are afraid, we become slaves. We bend. We lick our boots.
nos ancêtres n'ont
Our
pas été
ancestors were not cowardly.
lâches. Et si nous sommes lâches, nos enfants vont nous...
And if we are cowardly, our children will ask us
Imaginez qu'au
questions.
Burkina, nous refusions de nous battre. Et nous acceptons de nous...
Imagine that in Burkina Faso, we refuse to fight and we accept to submit, to live in slavery.
Nous poserons des questions. Nos parents ont-ils été des lâches pour nous laisser...
Tomorrow, our children will grow up and they will ask themselves questions. Have our parents been cowardly to leave us in slavery? Whether we are alive or dead, we will feel it.
a peur. Et les impérialistes ont compris, ils essaient de faire...
Cowardice is afraid, and the imperialists have understood that they are trying to scare the leaders so that they become cowards.
Tous les autres vices peuvent naître. On fait tout.
Because when you are a coward, all the other screws can be born.
Ils viennent...
We do everything so that we are afraid. They come to our palaces, they threaten us directly or with veiled
Bien
threats.
sûr, nous répondons comme il le faut.
Of course, we respond as it is necessary. They try to make us understand. They take examples every time.
Ils prennent chaque fois des exemples. Ils nous diront... vous
They tell
savez,
us, you know,
Thomas Sankara a essayé de faire comme ça, mais
Thomas Sankara tried to do this, but he is
Le
dead.
président haïtien, il a essayé de faire comme ça, il est où? Il est mort.
President Haitian tried to do this, but he is dead.
Comme ça, il est où? Il est mort. Voilà des propos qu'on nous tient de manière...
Gaddafi tried to do this, but he is dead. These are words that we take in a veiled way to scare us.
Nous voyons aussi souvent certains jeunes
And we often see some young people trying to take our path in a different way. We can hear them say, such and such person ruled like this, he is in his country.
a régné ainsi, il a la CPI. Telle personne a régné
Such and such person ruled like this, he is in prison.
pour qu'on devienne des lâches. Mais je pense qu'ils n'ont pas compris quelque chose.
All this to try to scare us so that we become cowards.
Nous vaincrons. Ce n'est pas qu'une phrase.
But I think they didn't understand one thing. When we say country or death,
Ce
we
n'est pas
win.
qu'une phrase. Ça a tout son sens.
It's not just a sentence. It's not just a sentence. It all makes sense. We are not afraid and we will never be afraid.
Ils ont fait peur, sûrement, à beaucoup de chefs d'État africains.
They probably scared a lot of African heads of state. They probably scared a lot of African heads of state.
Lorsqu'on a l'occasion d'être dans certaines situations à l'extérieur,
You see, often when we express ourselves or when we have the opportunity to be in certain situations abroad,
prendre soin de notre jeunesse pour pouvoir amorcer notre
we often say something to call on African heads of state to wake up and take care of our youth so that we can start our real development. So that we can start our real development.
publiquement à nos propos.
We are often misunderstood. Some have publicly opposed us. Some have publicly opposed us because they feel indexed. But I can assure you, youth, that when we find ourselves in the corridors,
Ces mêmes chefs d'État nous disent vous êtes sur la bonne voie, c'est ce qu'il faut faire pour que l'Afrique...
these same heads of state tell us that we are on the right track and that this is what needs to be done so that Africa can rise again.
Nous leur posons des questions à savoir pourquoi vous ne
So we ask them questions like, why don't you do like us?
Certains
Why
nous
don't you
disent qu'ils ont
support
les
us?
moyens, certains nous disent qu'ils ne peuvent pas. Chers aînés,
Some tell us that they have the means and some tell us that they can't.
Je souhaiterais dire que les peuples africains sont les peuples les plus pacifiques.
Dear elders, African heads of state, at the end of this podium, I would like to say that African peoples are the most peaceful. That African peoples are the most peaceful. When you recognize a wrong, you have to tell the
Nous avons
people.
des biens mal acquis,
When you recognize a wrong, you have to tell the people. We are not afraid to come out and tell the people we are sorry. We have been compromised. We have been mistreated. We have been compromised by several things, and we ask for forgiveness, and we come back on the right path and to start working really for the independence of our states and our emancipation.
So guys, I hope you have watched that video and you have listened to a revolutionary speech from Ibrahim Traore. One thing I really love about Ibrahim Traore, he is always coming out and without having fear or shame the Western countries. He is coming out several times, coming out and exposing how the Western countries things they've been doing to the black countries in the Caribbean and also the black countries in Africa. So Ibrahim Traore is coming out with a powerful warning to all Caribbean and African corrupt and puppet leaders. For a very long time, we have been having leaders who they have been in our black countries, like the leaders in the Caribbean. We have been having those leaders who they have becoming puppet, the leaders who have been working under the Western influence. So those puppet leaders right now, it is the time for them to be removed, and that's why Ibrahim Traore is calling all the puppet leaders to wake up, or they will be removed with the people. Right now, the power belongs to the people. And also, we have been seeing how Africans, Gen Z, they have been coming out and calling those puppet and corrupt leaders. We have been seeing in some of the countries here in Africa, like the country Kenya. It was the first country to bring the Gen Z of Kenya. They were the first citizen to come out and protest for the bad governance, because the country, the leadership, it was becoming their leaders. The president was becoming a puppet, and because of that, the Gen Z from Kenya, they wake up and they went ahead and did a massive protest and calling out those leaders who were puppet together with the president who was becoming puppet. So you can see now that it is a revolution that Africa right now it is undergoing. And also we have been seeing currently from Tanzania, we have been seeing the Tanzania youth also, they have been coming out protesting, wanting to send out all those corrupt leaders, all those leaders who are not working according to the will of the people. And also we have been seeing some also countries in the Caribbean also, like now you can see there is a fight which it is going on in Haiti. The Asian people, they are fighting also their country simply because they had a bad leaders. The leaders who are becoming a puppet, the leaders who are the sellout leaders, the leaders who are selling out the resources to these colonizers people. And that's why you can see there's a fight which it is going on till now in Haiti. These Asian people, they are fighting back their country because they've been living their country having resources, but they cannot enjoy the benefit of their resources. So that's why you can see right now the Asian people, they are now fighting, and all this, it is because these Western people, they always want to destabilize black countries. These people, they always want to destabilize black countries. They don't want black countries to grow and develop so that they can overtake their country. This is something that these Western countries, they don't want. They always want to make Africa and black countries in the Caribbean to be a third world country. And that's why you can go and see up to now the head of state of Jamaica, it is not yet free independent, simply because you can see the head of state, it is the King Charles is the head of the state, which tells you that Jamaica, it was given a fake independence, it is not yet free. And that's why you have been seeing the leaders from Jamaica that have been becoming puppet. Those leaders that are becoming a sellout leaders. Majority of Jamaicans that have been complaining about the Chinese coming in Jamaica, wanting to take over their country. And also the colonizers, they are still milking the goodness and the benefit from, they're still milking Jamaica, because you can see also they have shares, which means they always take money out of Jamaica. And that's why you can see in Jamaica there's no much development, simply because when the prime minister wants to do something, you can see he must ask the permission from the king, because it was queen, but the queen died. Right now it is the king who is the head. So which means that Jamaica, it is not yet free, and that's why there's so much there's no much development. And also the leaders have become corrupt. The leaders are puppet from the Western country. So That's why Ibrahim Traore is coming out and calling all leaders to wake up. Right now, Jamaica, they need to have a leaders who will free them from these hands of the colonizers, because if it will continue to be like this, Jamaica will remain to be where it is right now. And right now, we want all African and Caribbean leaders to unite. We want black people in the Caribbean to unite with the black Americans, and also African people to unite with the black Americans and all our black people who are in the Caribbean, because those black people who are in Caribbean, they were taken away during the slavery time. These are our brothers and sisters, and that's why I will not shut up and seeing something bad which it is going on in the black countries in the Caribbean. That's why I love to share this message with my Caribbean people, with my Jamaican people, the message from Ibrahim Traore. You know, right now, Ibrahim Traore has become like, he's our African president. And the things that Ibrahim Traore is doing, also the Western people, they are not happy. These Western countries, Western people, they have tried like 30 times to assassinate Ibrahim Traore. But we as African people, we are still praying for Ibrahim Traore. We want more leaders like Ibrahim Traore. And I can see the Western countries, they fear Ibrahim Traore, so that Ibrahim Traore cannot spread the good governance. They don't want Ibrahim Traore to spread the good governance. They don't want Ibrahim Traore to open the eyes of the African leaders, or they don't want the Ibrahim Traore to influence some of the African leaders to follow his footsteps. And that's why these people, they're trying each and every day to bring Ibrahim Traore down. They are trying to assassinate Ibrahim Traore, but we as the people of Africa, we are ready to protect Ibrahim Traore at any cost. And that's why you can see these people, they are so mad with Ibrahim Traore. Since Ibrahim Traore, he came into power, he came and be the president of Burkina Faso, we have seen a lot of things that has really changed in Burkina Faso. Ibrahim Traore has managed to make educational free from primary level till secondary level. We have been seeing Ibrahim Traore has created so much employment. We have been seeing how France, they were taking gold from the gold and so many resources from Burkina Faso. Right now, we can see those resources. When Ibrahim Traore came into power, he cut all the resources of his country going to France. Right now, we can see France, the economy is going down, and also they are losing jobs simply because they were having more jobs depending from the minerals from which they were taking from Burkina Faso. But Ibrahim Traore has cut that, and he has make sure that his mineral, it is the people are enjoying the benefit of the minerals, the gold that they are having. Right now, when you go to Burkina Faso, you will see they are developing. There is so much development in Burkina Faso, and majority of Burkina Faso, they are really happy with Ibrahim Traore. I've been seeing some of the videos. Also, the citizen, they are going to the state house to just to sleep there overnight to protect Ibrahim Traore. Those are the kind of leaders that we need, not the leaders who are puppet, the leaders who always put their interest first, the leaders who always put their stomach first. So when some of our African leaders, they are getting into power, first thing these people, they usually do is they fly out their families. They fly out their families. Their children will school outside, not in the country which they are leading. No, those are the kind of the leaders that we don't want. We want a leader who born and raised in Africa, who the children is not going out of Africa to go to learn. We want their children also to learn here in Africa, so that they can also make sure that they are learning also, so that when their children will be learning here in Africa, they will improve also the educational sector, knowing that also the children, they are learning here in Africa. So those are the kind of leaders that right now we want, and I'm praying to God that this Africa and countries in the Caribbean, they will also get a leader like Ibrahim Traore. So kindly, guys, you can also share your thoughts on the comment section. I'll be reading it on my next video. And also right now, I can see the Jamaicans, they are also doing election, and also I want them to pray to God so that they can give them a good leader, because for a very long time we have been seeing how Jamaicans, they have been complaining Chinese taking over. How we have been seeing how Jamaicans, they right now the Chinese, they are owning the big businesses in Jamaica. It is being run with the Chinese. So the Jamaican government, it has relaxed and it has given so much opportunity to the foreigners than the locals. Those are some of the things that we don't want to see in our black countries. So right now, Jamaicans, they need to stand up, they need to wake up, not to allow the foreigners to come in and take their country. You know, these foreigners, they always come to our black countries. We give them, we allow them to acquire land, but we as black people, when we go to their country, they cannot allow us to own a land. No, they cannot allow us to own a piece of land. So it needs to be also, if they cannot allow us to own land in their country, let us also not allow them to own land in our black countries. So kindly guys, subscribe if you haven't. I really want you to like this video and share it so that it can reach to a lot of people. Thank you so much guys. See you on my next one. Bye bye.